and gentlemen, today is Tuesday, September the 5th, 2023. It is now 6 p.m. and I call this San Juan Economic Development Corporation meeting to order. First item on the agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance. All rise, please. Next item is number 3, our roll call. I'll begin with Miss Martha on our left. Arturo Guajardo Jr.
Marco Villegas.
Ramírez.
Thank you. We are missing a couple of board members. We'll give them some time to see if they show up. Our next item is number 4, public comments. Do we have anybody registered for public comments today, Miss Martha? No, we don't. Okay, then we'll move on to item number 5, which is our director's report. Mr. Arjona.
Mr. Chairman, board members, staff, community, very few items on the director's report. The first one, wanted to let you know that Hotel Home 2 Suites is already up. They're running, they're working on it.
Nice.
There's a lot of construction going on. I know we had a hiccup at the very beginning when somebody busted a water line, but that got taken care of like within 3 hours. Yes, sir, of course. Definitely. I know that Mr. Contreras called, and I called the guys and they mobilized, and I want to say within the hour and a half, maybe 2 at the most, they were on it and they got it done. So there's a lot of moving of dirt at that place. We're hoping that here pretty soon, I want to say within the next couple of months, we can see the slab. It takes a while because it's a, what is it, a 3-story, 5-story building. So, but anyhow, they're good progress on that.
Did they give us an anticipated date of completion?
No, not really. I know that we're going to visit with them at least a year after initial breaking ground. The lift station was done way before that. And yeah, what we had to do was replace the, I want to say you call the motors on that. There was 2 of them. We replaced them, we upgraded them, and that was pretty much the only thing we needed to do on our side. But that was done like maybe 4 or 5 months before even the ribbon cutting, the groundbreaking. Yeah. The next one, McDonald's also. That one, I don't know if you had taken a drive over to North Raul Longoria and Olanda. I think pretty much the whole building is already up and running.
Wow, that's fast.
We're waiting on our commitment, which was the water lines. Remember that we're supposed to expand the water lines. We're just waiting on North Alamo. They're having an issue with the agreements not with us, but with the developer. So once we get that done, we should be over and getting that done. We have the supplies already. We're just waiting on their approval for us to proceed on that. Yeah. Yes, and that's the first one of many more to come. I know there's some others that are going to follow, and as a matter of fact,
Got some movement over there, anticipated movement.
Yes, sir.
We've been talking about it.
the other one I know I'm going to leave it to the very end, but also we had the ribbon cutting for the Rock and Thrift Shop that was back in August 16th. It went very well. I know it was extremely hot. It was in the morning, 10:30, but we got it done. It's another business, a small little business, but it's a vintage, old stuff, cassette players, record players, pretty much anything that you want to go back to the early 80s, late 70s, everything is there. So I urge you guys to go and visit. It's a good place to, maybe some memorabilia, maybe some.
Where's this at, Ben?
This is right next to that, what is that? It's on the corner of Nebraska and Business 83, next to where that the boot shop place is at, where they where they sell boots and stuff.
Facing Old
Gonzalez?
83?
Yes, facing 83. I think it's the first business, if I'm not mistaken, after Rob and the little alley.
Yes.
¿Verdad? And then going back to the City Hall, I know we've been going back and forth with the grand opening. So we're anticipating that it'll probably be October the 11th, between 6 and 6:30. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, this is on a Wednesday, but it'll be at the October 11th. We had to push it back a couple of weeks, but I think it'll work out a little bit better because if we would have done it before that, landscaping might not have been finished, but this is pretty much the whole building, turn it over to us. Tentatively, still on the 11th. Tomorrow we're meeting with the contractors, the developers, to see if that's still the date for the grand opening ribbon cutting.
Care urgent
Yes,
now?
and, yes, the care urgent, that'll be taking place in October. Did we get a call back from those, from the lady? No? No? So, we'll reach out back to them. We're just waiting on their date, whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon, preferably in the afternoon. Right. But they're
They're
really,
pretty much done already?
they're complete. They just want us to go over and do a ribbon cutting for them.
Good.
There's a couple of others that came in late. One of them is a plaza, it's on North Raul Longoria. I don't know the name of the plaza yet, but this is the one right before the subway, North Raul Longoria. There's a plaza like, it's an Encino Drive?
North of the PD.
Nice building with
Right.
with the insurance place.
That's the one, it'll be September 12th. September 12th, the thing is, they want to have it on the. It's north of the PD, right. It's right before
Fire
the
station's
subway.
right north of it.
They're doing a
Yeah, very
commercial
nice,
plaza?
very
It's a
nice.
commercial plaza.
Wow.
There's about maybe 6 suites, maybe 5 or 7, something
Modern
like that.
looking.
It's an,
That one's almost done, too. I've been seeing that.
so yeah. They were very adamant that they wanted on that week of, which is next week, but they want it in the morning at 10 a.m.
Okay, great.
And then another one, we have Pollos El Mezquite Asado, no, El Mezquite Pollos Asados. They're also looking for a ribbon cutting grand opening. This is from Ms. Idalia and her husband Hernandez. This is at the placita from Mr. Valencia's, where they used to sell chicharrones and something like that. They took over. Apparently, they're selling that it's the best tasting barbecue chicken. I don't know. They haven't tasted Mr. Guajardo, so we shall find out. We shall find out. But this is on a Saturday. They want to make it on a Saturday, so it'll be a huge event. Obviously,
Saying this is on Valencia's property on.
Valencia's property, right?
So there's already a tenant out.
Yes.
They
Well,
came in.
actually, it was Mr. Valencia's sister, the one that was renting that place.
Okay.
It'll be another business. It'll be on
Where his wings is and that seafood
Right next to
restaurant
it.
and all that?
Right,
Okay.
right next to where the wing is at, maybe about 3 suites further this way. This is where the El Mezquite Pollos Asados, it's already there. It's more of a buffet type of thing. Plus, and I haven't seen it, but they're building, or they built a barbecue pit in the indoors for the barbecue chicken.
Wow, good.
For the 16 de septiembre, it'll be September 16th. We're hoping it'll be tentatively like around maybe 10:30, 11-ish, something like that. Obviously, everybody's invited to attend, and they want to do a big thing for pretty much all of you. And the other thing is, just to let you know, it's in the packet, is the 2023-24 budget. It's there for discussion in the next couple of items. I want you to know, I want to thank Mr. Gonzalez and staff, Ms. Martha, for helping us out and putting this budget together. It's a very well-balanced budget. I'm sure you're going to like it. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, board members, I don't have anything else. The other stuff that I have is under executive session.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Arjona. Do we have any questions or comments for Mr. Arjona? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item number 6.1, discussion possible action, if any, on downtown revitalization plan.
I don't have anything at this point. At the next meeting, we should have more stuff coming in. So by the next one, we should have Mr. Brian and Michelle and the other gentlemen come over and give us a presentation.
Do we have any more feedback or insight on the funding mechanism the funding source that we were trying to go after?
Those 6 million? I haven't heard from Andrew Cannon.
One point in time, you told us we had missed the deadline and then
Right, they were
maybe
supposed to get
not.
back with me. I called him again, he didn't have anything yet, so I don't foresee anything at this point. I think it's already been a little bit too long. But I'll continue trying and see what the deal is.
That's the key, the funding.
Right, so,
All this other discussion and talk and show and everything else and that.
so there's another grant that Mr. Pancras and Hollis' office is working on. We needed some information from the engineers, they're getting all of that together, still working on that to make it a project ready, to see what sort of a funding mechanism will be able to go after this.
Then I would advise you that if ERO and their team come next time, that Hollis also.
No, as a matter of fact, I already spoken to Hollis. Right, right. So the one on Texas that we talked about in executive session at the last meeting is from the frontage all the way to Nolana. However, when we spoke with Mr. Cosley, he did say there were looking at the one from Business 83 to the frontage. And there's some good ways of maybe them helping us out, whether it's with concrete, not landscaping, because they cannot participate in landscaping, but on the hardscaping, they can. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm supposed to meet with Mr. Bryan and a couple of individuals from TxDOT. If I'm not mistaken, they already assigned an FAA project number to this particular project. Yeah.
Items, we don't need any action. We'll move on to item 6.2, discussion possible action, if any, on approving EDC proposed budget for the fiscal year 23-24.
Are there any questions on that, or we can just go through it real quick? And you know that the EDC compared to previous years is in a much better position as it was, 6 years ago, when we were like barely over the red line. We're sitting at 1.7 million for revenues this particular year. One thing we didn't put in there, because Mr. Gonzalez was out of the office, was an estimated interest earned, so that's an additional 70,000 that we're estimating. Obviously, this is a balanced budget, 1.5 million, almost 1.6. Now, this 70,000 that I'm saying, where it says interest earned, we'll put it as an expenditure at the end. But that'll be as a, what we call the undesignated monies.
Like to see, and I think I've asked for this in the past, there's a real simple spreadsheet showing beginning balance, all the expenses, all the revenue, ending balance. So I can know exactly what we started off with and what we're at the end of the year. It's a real simple, total dollars, beginning balance. Yeah, it's a real easy one, which I'm surprised why we don't get it. Like you just told us is 1.7, but I don't see it anywhere.
1.7, that's the sales tax for you?
That's just revenues, but not full balance of what we've got in the bank.
Oh, you're talking about the audit?
No, no, no. In our bank account, what is our beginning balance for the EDC? Total balance of all the money we have in the bank. You know what I'm saying? You not following me?
So you want a fund balance?
Fund balance.
Don't we have an audit already, fund balance, how much we have? But I understand what you're saying now.
I mean, a real simple spreadsheet, show me the total fund balance. Then you show me all of this budget expenses,
You're looking at
and then
fund balance,
revenues, which is just gonna be
expenditures.
sales tax and interest.
Right.
And then the ending balance, right?
Which
That's
we're at
it.
what? And they'll give us more this
Well,
one.
wouldn't Mr. President, wouldn't the revenue also include any kind of sales?
If we sell a piece of property, any other revenue we might have, obviously. But we haven't sold anything yet.
Break it down by category.
Perfect.
So starting balance, we're looking at the fund balance, we're looking at
3.1.
So in the expenses, you'll show us all the
After
budgetary
expenses,
expenses,
we're
and
at
then
1.7.
debt, and whatever we're paying off, loans, commitments, everything, right?
Just broken down, right? And then because of that, after expenses, we're at 1.7, you're saying?
everything is here, just like we're saying, that they have the payments and commitments and all that. So we can also put them on.
Right, on a one pager, it's just a lot simpler, easier to see. When you've got multiple years and everything, it gets a little confusing for me. Maybe I only took basic math in high school, and I'm not as advanced as my colleagues here.
No, we'll do it. What we can do is
Thank
we
you.
can email it to every single one of you.
Yes, that would come in handy. I did thumb through these things. Does anybody else have any questions or comments on any of the numbers here? There was a couple of things that I had concerns about. On the promotional expense, which is, well, you gave me two sets. On the email that I got, there was two sets of the same things. I was trying to figure out why there was two sets, but the system gave us two sets. I see a promotional booster club to the FFA of $8,000. I don't remember doing that. We didn't do $8,000, did we? So it's there. So I was like, why is that there? And then I saw it on the sponsorships, it says 800.
13?
Yeah, page 30.
Well, we didn't give either one of those numbers. It would have been either or.
Could it be a typo?
Well, I hope so. Right?
I see that.
So, we need to have a way to reconcile to where the system catches if we did do a typo on the balances, you know, to where we catch that. It's a big difference.
So out of 800, it's $7,200 more. I'm not missing it.
We'll see. Also on that, I have a question on this very last page of that says miscellaneous expense. I guess, what do you have it labeled as? Department 800 long-term debt. You see where I'm looking at, Ben? That, what is it on the 23, 24 column that says DEP requests and then proposed? There's a negative 354, 780. I don't understand what that means. Why would we have a proposed negative number?
It's because when I started working with our city budget, we key in all the employees, but we didn't key in all revenues, just the employees portion, until Mr. Juan and Martha come over, and then they start keying in. So we started copying.
So there's missing information,
But-
obviously.
Yeah, well, yes, and we usually don't, the department request and the propose for EDC, it's usually the final is what we're looking at.
Oh, so that's what DEP is, department
Yes.
request, okay.
Department request and propose.
That helps me. So the department is us, right?
Yes,
So it's 0, but yet there's expense total of 135, and then, I don't know, I'm not understanding it at all. I guess I need to go
those
sit
two
with you.
columns
Leroy.
there really don't mean much, only because this is from our system, the city system too, and it copies everything. So and for you guys, it's just the final is what the last column is what you should be looking at.
Well, I mean, I
But I'll-
appreciate the explanation, but you understand my reasoning why I'd rather see a much simpler budget for us, at least for the EDC only, without having any other information that doesn't really pertain to us.
What I'll try to do is kind of clean it up, and so you'd be more,
I mean, I'd be happy with a one-pager, you know? I really would. Some that really shows us the numbers, and that's it. So you're asking us to approve the budget today, or just to look at it and bring it back later?
Look at it, bring it back at the next meeting, so the next meeting is October the 15th, and then we have one more meeting for the city.
That'll give us all some time to look at these pages that are in front of you and, you know, try to make some sense of the numbers. Have another meeting that we can bring it back. I also have another question. I was thumbing through this, you know, the majority of our expenses have been on our downtown revitalization, you know, the engineering work and stuff. Where is this on here? I never found it. Where, I found the promotional expenses.
In the 9901.
Is it in here? I see something on 9901 that it says Project Bear. Bear?
Is that what
Look at the special project 9901, and on top of that column, it says year-to-date activity, 2023, 2022, 2023. So we have spent so far 65,000.
That's special projects, that's it? That's all of the downtown revitalization
far.
movement? Okay,
65?
on special projects.
Yes.
So that's showing expenses, and then right under that, this is proposed, this is not expenses yet, right? The bear and the BT and the door, because that's all new work, that's all,
This is a carryover. So this is for the new fiscal year. What's underneath?
what we're anticipating.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Director, our bylaws do indicate our fiscal year doesn't begin October 1st, which is required when we adopt the budget.
Before October 1st. Thank you, Counselor. So our next meeting will be before October 1st, right? So we got one more to go. Está bueno. Okay, that was my 2 cents.
Up, and we can bring you that one pager,
Perfect.
and we can
That would help.
reference
At
between one
least
and the other.
speaking for myself. Okay.
Mr. President, let me get that clarified again.
Downtown revitalization expenses is under 9901.
Special projects. That line item that says special projects.
Which one is the downtown? What line?
The very first one, it says special projects above that. Above that, it's in color, it's highlighted in color. Above Bear, right above it,
Yeah, let's see.
that one.
Special project.
And the activity is under year-to-date activity in 22-23, 65.
Doesn't sound correct.
I thought it was a little more, but
Well, you look at 22, 23, that number,
maybe that's all we paid this year.
so far.
We've
this
paid,
year.
prior years, maybe we've paid more.
Well, if we're gonna focus on the final, like we were, directed, that's 578,000.
On the final number, but that appears to be a balance or an expense. You see how confused I am?
Special
Go all the way to the end on special projects.
579,
Yeah.
that's supposed to be our final
Expense
expense. So
or
if you
balance?
look at it, if
Oh,
you look at it,
uh,
then you have the project bear number 1 out of 5, 10,000, BT, 12,000, and plus the undesignated 527 or 522.
522.
That'll add to the 579.
Plus the 65?
Right.
Is that correctly, Roy?
Yes.
And then you get that.
523.
So it's, we haven't spent that yet.
Yeah.
Pedro, can you
Correct.
follow that? They've tied what we already spent plus what we anticipate spending.
I can bring a listing of all the expenditures, so you can see
Okay,
on those special projects.
perfect. The actual expenditures, these other ones we have not spent yet,
Not spent yet.
but they're being tied together.
So those three things.
We need to
designated
separate
Bear
those.
1 and BT.
Well, we got 2 weeks to chew on this.
It's happened to me before. You go through it, you go through each one, and there's just so many questions, like you brought up before. I mean, we've had these kind of meetings prior years. There's so many questions. It's just, I mean, I'm thinking,
I've always heard the same feedback. This is what the system gives us, this is what the system gives us. I'm almost inclined to say, well, can we create our own spreadsheet on an Excel instead of using the system? Where it'd be much clearer to us, you know, because it's very simple. I mean, it's how much money we bring in, what are we spending, and how much are we making, period. It gets really confusing looking at it like this, because there's 3 years in there. And, you know, I don't, even the categories don't make much sense to me when it says activity and then budget and activity and budget and then the department request all on the same row. Just throws me off, at least.
I think it's a system thing, right? Because you're saying it's a system.
I can do that. We can do
So just,
We can do a spreadsheet and then from now on,
Excel.
just work on an Excel
Problem
spreadsheet
solved.
for
I'll bring you
us.
this over. I'll get your spreadsheet instead.
Perfecto. Very good. I think it'll be clear for everybody. Any other questions or comments? We're good with that? All right. Then at this time, we are not going to take action on that, on the budget. Then we'll move on to 6.3, discussion possible action, if any, on sponsorship promotion for the South Texas College Foundation inaugural gala on October the 5th, 2023, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Pecan campus at 3210 West Pecan, McAllen, Texas. Do we have somebody here with South Texas Community College? No? We don't?
like last time, wait till they come and present.
That's usually been our practice. You want-
Try to reach out to them.
Okay,
We'll wait till they come and present, correct?
That's fine.
we'll take no action at this time, we'll wait for next time. All right?
Make sure that they were here, nobody answered. And this one, nobody walked over. It was sent in.
Okay. Well, as long as you try to reach out to them. Very good. Okay, then we'll go on to 6.4, discussion and possible action, if any, regarding a collaborative agreement with the San Juan Cultural Arts District Internship Program for UTRGV students. How's that for wording the,
Yeah, on this one, Mr. Chairman, we can take it over executive session.
very good, we will. That was at the request of Miriam, ¿verdad? Which I saw in the audience. We'll go into executive session with that, okay. Then we'll move on to item 7.1, approval of the following minutes, April 18, 2023, June 7, 2023. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes as submitted if you guys want to.
I make a motion.
Got a motion? And a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Our next item is 8, executive session. The San Juan Economic Development Corporation will convene an executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Vernon statutes and codes annotated, Government Code Chapter 551.071, consultation with attorney, and Texas Government Code 551.087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations. The time is now 6:25 PM. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
moved.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We are now in executive session. The time is 8:01 PM. I am now reconvening the San Juan Economic Development Corporation meeting. We are out of executive session. And out of executive session, we're going to require action on 2 items. The first one was 6:4? Yes. I said 8:01 PM.
Yes, just for the record, Mr. Chairman, we have Mr. Sanchez join us in at 7:24 PM to the meeting
Thank you.
for purposes of minutes.
Wait, my phone says 8:01. What time is it?
Yeah, 8:01.
Yeah, it says 8:01.
You're correct.
Yeah.
I'll get that fixed.
Okay.
On item 6.4, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we're recommending that the board approve and authorize your
Executive director.
Executive director.
to enter into an agreement with the Juan's Cultural Arts District to create 2 internship opportunities here at the EDC.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item is executive session item 81AH, Project Court.
On that project, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, legal counsel recommending that the board authorize your executive director and legal counsel to enter into an economic incentive agreement with Project Court.
Moved. Second.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
No.
Go ahead.
There was one more, and I do apologize. There was
Okay,
one more. That's
sorry.
the real estate one that we had.
Oh, that's correct.
So on item 9B, real estate, legal counsel is recommending that the board authorize your executive director and your real estate agent to enter into contract negotiations for the purchase of real estate as discussed in executive session.
Very good. And just for correction, it's 8B. 8B,
So moved. Second.
right?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was reading the reconvene part at the bottom.
8B, so we've got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Do I have a motion to adjourn? And a motion?
Second.
And a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting is now adjourned.